Hello, my name is Carla from Miami. Please like and subscribe. When I was 5 years old, my astronaut dad went to space and never returned. His colleagues searched for him for weeks until they finally told us that he was gone for good. After that, I grew up with my famous fashionista mom who styled celebrities. As you'd expect, I picked up fashion and makeup skills at a very young age. Mom thought I would be a fashionista like her, until one day she walked in on me sitting on a pile of Dad's books, reading to my dolls.
Sweetheart, you can actually read that book?
Yes, I can, Mom. Dad used to teach me. A few days later, Mom put together a mini library for me, but I finished reading all the children's books there within no time. In school, it didn't take long for my teachers to realize that I was kind of a genius. And by the time I was in 7th grade, I could solve senior year level math problems within minutes. It was kind of my superpower. As I grew older, I became prettier, much to Mom's delight. She thought for sure I had a future in modeling, but I told her I had other plans.
What plans? What could be better than becoming a famous model?
I want to be just like Dad.
But you're so pretty, you don't have to kill yourself studying.
Mom bought me all the designer outfits she could find, hoping I'd see what I was missing. That only made me the most stylish nerd at school. I finally graduated high school with perfect scores and got into the most prestigious university in the United States. Only the best of the best were accepted there, and I was one of them. I spent hours getting ready for my first day of class at the university. I finally settled on an outfit, and as I hurried to class, I realized I was a few minutes late. Not exactly how I wanted to start my first day. When I walked in, my designer heels click-clacked on the auditorium floor. I looked for the nearest seat, and as I went to sit, someone stuck their leg out and I tripped and fell into my seat, my books landing on the floor. Hey! What's your problem?
Are you lost, Barbie? This is not the Barbie dollhouse. Fashion school's that way.
The whole auditorium burst out laughing. Right, I had forgotten that outside of my high school, everyone saw me for only my looks. A dumb blonde who couldn't possibly be anything more than a brainless doll face.
Settle down, everyone. Girl in pink, it's good for you to join us. Now find a seat and let's continue. Brody, pick on someone your own size.
Great, even the professor was making fun of me.
Welcome, everyone, and congratulations. If you are sitting here right now, it means that you are among the best in this country. In fact, one of you here earned the highest score in the history of the SATs.
By now, everyone was looking around, whispering to each other about who it could be.
Well, whoever it is, it's definitely not Barbie over here.
Seriously, what was his problem? I was about to say something when the girl seated next to him turned to me and handed me some of my books.
Don't mind this jerk. He thinks he's the only one who deserves to be here.
Thanks.
Joan.
Hi, I'm Carla. She smiled at me and then kicked Brody's seat, almost tipping him over. We both burst out laughing. By the end of the week, Joan had stopped so many attacks from Brody that I lost count. She was sort of my protector. One afternoon, she invited me to watch her as she tried out for the university swimming team. I was so excited, but as soon as I sat down, a shadow blocked my view. I looked up to see Brody in nothing but tiny swim shorts. He'd just gotten out of the pool and was dripping water all over my shoes. Ugh, you again? Move, you're blocking my view.
You don't belong here.
And who are you to judge that? You don't know anything about me.
Let me guess, your parents' money got you here, right?
It was almost Joan's turn to swim, so I stood up and walked past Brody trying to get a better view of the pool. And guess what he did? He tripped me. Again! I went down screaming, and when I tried to get up, I slipped and fell into the pool, face first. I splattered around the pool, trying to find anything I could hold on to. Help! I can't swim! A few seconds later, someone grabbed me and pulled me out of the pool. As soon as I saw who it was, I went ballistic. Stay away from me! Don't you dare come near me ever again!
I am so sorry, Carla. I didn't know.
Just then, Joan ran towards us. She took one look at my drenched clothes and turned to Brody.
You jerk!
Without warning, she slapped Brody across his face. I shot to my feet and grabbed her before she could slap him a second time. Brody stormed away, while Joan helped me dry off before she got called to the lineup. She won her round of the tryouts, and when she got out of the water, I hugged her. I can't believe how good you are! You can easily get into the Olympics!
Thanks. Now let's get out of here. Any plans for this evening?
How about we go to my room and order pizza to celebrate your win? My treat.
Sounds perfect.
A few hours later, Joan and I were sitting on my dorm room bed, a large pizza between us, when someone knocked on my door. I answered it only to find Brody standing there. What are you doing here? How did you even find my room?
Carla, I'm really sorry.
Oh, so it's not Barbie now?
I'm sorry for calling you that, but I'm here because of what happened earlier. When you said you couldn't swim, I felt so guilty.
Leave.
Before he could say anything else, Joan slammed the door in his face, then turned to me.
Oh my god, you can't swim? You must have been terrified.
Joan sounded so worried, and I enjoyed the attention, but I had to tell her the truth. I have to tell you something.
Sure, what is it?
I can swim.
What? But Brody just said...
I know. I just said that to mess with him after he tripped me and I fell into the pool. I expected her to be mad at me, but instead she burst out laughing.
I underestimated you. You're evil. Served him right, though. He was a jerk for tripping you again.
We spent the rest of the night talking and laughing. I looked forward to the next class because I knew Brody was not going to be mean to me ever again. Or so I thought. When Joan and I walked into class a few days later, a bunch of students were gathered around my seat. As soon as they saw us, they walked in different directions, some laughing. That's when I saw it. My usual seat was painted pink, and the word Barbie was written on it in large gold letters. I immediately looked at Brody, and he was trying so hard not to burst out laughing. Brody, I know you did this! I thought you said you were sorry!
That was before I found out you lied to me about not being able to swim.
I turned to Joan. You told him?
What? No way.
Then how did he know?
I overheard you after your girlfriend slammed the door in my face.
Of course he had eavesdropped. I wanted to tell him that Joan wasn't my girlfriend. I wished she could be, but I hadn't gathered the courage to ask her yet.
Keep your big ears out of your business.
Joan was standing toe-to-toe with Brody, and I was so sure she was going to tackle him when the professor walked in. He went straight to the whiteboard and wrote a math equation.
This is one of the most complex math equations. I'd like volunteers to solve it. First one to solve it gets free dinner at a restaurant of their choice.
Brody raised his hand immediately.
I'll do it, and I'd like Barbie to do it too.
What? I didn't raise my hand.
Are you scared that I'll beat you? Come on, I thought you'd jump at the opportunity to prove that you're not just a pretty face.
Everyone stared at me, waiting for my answer.
You don't have to prove anything to anyone, Carla.
I know, but I need to do this. I walked to the board and stood next to a smirking Brody. The professor set up a timer for us as Brody and I took a marker and started writing on the board. A few minutes later, I stepped away from the board. I'm done! The professor looked at my work and verified that I had gotten the answer right.
And she did it in record-breaking time, too.
Everybody gasped and clapped. Brody was so flustered that I'd finished before him and got it right that he dropped his marker. The professor looked at Brody's work, and not only had he not finished solving his equation, the formulas he was using were all wrong as well. He went back to his seat, head bowed and face red. When I got to my seat, Joan launched herself at me, hugging me and squealing.
That was amazing!
Before I could say anything, she kissed me and hoots and cheers erupted all around us. I closed my eyes and kissed her back. I couldn't believe this was happening. I had just been kissed for the first time, and by a girl. Best feeling ever. A few seconds later, the professor cleared his throat and brought us back to Earth.
All right, well, that's enough excitement for the day. Take your seats, please.
I leaned into Joan and whispered, "To be continued?"
You bet.
I barely heard anything the professor said after that. I was over the moon and had a stupid grin on my face while Brody scowled. The next few days were pure bliss, as Joan and I spent every moment together. I took her to her favorite restaurant for the professor's reward dinner, and we had a great time. Joan was very athletic and was on almost every university sports team. One afternoon, I went to watch her play basketball. I walked into the court to find her and her teammates standing by the sidelines. Why aren't you guys playing yet?
Brody and his buddies won't leave. We've been waiting for over 30 minutes. I think we should just... Carla, watch out!
I reacted just in time to catch a ball that Brody had thrown my way. If it wasn't for my quick reflexes, I'd have gotten a broken nose. Are you crazy?
Nice catch, Blondie. Now, could I have my ball back?
No, the girls have a right to play too. It's time for you guys to leave.
Oh, so you're also a feminist? Great. Tell you what, the guys and I will leave if you play against me and win.
Joan and I looked at each other and she shook her head.
You don't have to do this. The girls and I can leave. Plus, you're in a skirt.
No way I'm letting him win.
Get ready to lose, sweetheart.
I'm not your sweetheart. The game got heated as Brody and I shot hoop after hoop, none of us losing to the other. Brody and his buddies were beginning to get frustrated, and I knew it was time to make my special move. When I had the ball, I dribbled and charged towards the hoop. and then jumped as high as I could, leaping towards the hoop. Everyone held their breath as I made the most perfect slam dunk. Joan and her teammates went wild, and before I knew it, she was in the court hugging me and lifting me up. After that, Brody made no scores and he left the court hurriedly, his buddies close behind.
Oh my god, did you see the pathetic look on his face?
Enjoy the court, girls. Brody stayed out of my way after that, until one Saturday when the boys' basketball team won a match against their biggest rivals.
Party at our dorm this evening. Everyone is welcome, even you, Barbie.
Fresh cheers erupted as everyone jumped in joy. Brody was known for his parties. Joan and I agreed to meet at the party that evening. When I arrived, I called her, but she didn't pick up, so I decided to go inside and look for her. The place was packed and loud music blared.
Hey, looking for your girlfriend? She's in there with Brody.
I didn't like the sound of that, so I hurried into the room. As soon as I walked in, my heart stopped. Brody and Joan were there, but that's not what stopped my heart. What shook me to my core was the fact that they were kissing. What the heck is going on here? Brody turned to me, an evil smile on his face, while Joan suddenly pushed him and darted to my side.
What did it look like? Your girlfriend just kissed me.
That's a lie. I came in here to return your call, and he followed me, then tried to kiss me. Please believe me.
I turned to Joan and hugged her. Of course I believe you. Then I looked at Brody in anger. Joan, let's get out of here. This place stinks anyway. I took my girlfriend's hand and we walked out of there smiling. During our final math class for the semester, the professor walked in, a smile on his face.
At the beginning of the semester, I announced that one of you scored the highest SAT score in the history of SATs. Can anyone guess who that is?
I listened as everyone whispered and wondered who the top student was.
I bet it's Brody. He's pretty smart.
What about Carla? She solved the math equation pretty quick.
No way, she just got lucky.
I bet that's what everyone thought. I could fly a rocket to the moon and they'd still think I was just a dumb blonde. So unfair.
For those of you who guessed Carla, you're right.
Everyone went silent, except for Brody.
What? No way. That's enough, Brody. All semester I've watched you harass Carla. The only reason I didn't kick you out of this class is because she asked me not to, and assured me she could handle your attempts at humiliating her. Now what do you have to say for yourself?
All eyes were on Brody, and just as he was about to speak, I stood up. Thanks, Professor. I know that most of you are surprised that a girl who looks like me could have the highest score, but I wanted to tell you that I don't have to dress down just because I'm smart. There's absolutely no problem if I dress and look like a Barbie and still beat you at math. And you know what, Brody? I actually love my pink seat. As everyone cheered, Brody stood up. I expected him to say something mean, but he surprised everyone.
Congratulations, Carla. And I'm sorry I stereotyped you like that. It was very wrong of me.
I stared up at the ceiling.
What are you doing?
Waiting to see pigs fly.
Haha, she's funny too. Seriously though, I'm really sorry. Truth is, I was mean because I like you.
Huh?
Well, I have a little crush on you.
That's not an excuse to be a jerk, Brody. Plus, Carla is my girlfriend now, so walk away. And next time you try to kiss me, I'll punch you right in the face.
Joan took my hand and Brody took a step back. His hands lifted in surrender.
Whoa, no need for violence.
Joan and I laughed. See you around, Brody. I look forward to beating you at math and basketball next semester.
It's on.
Don't you look so cute? Wow, you look like a princess, Sophie. You just need a crown. I just loved playing dress up with Sophie. Even though she's a panda, she is my best friend. My name is Sue, and I'm from China. If you want to know more about my pandas, hidden treasure, and my life story, click the like button. And also don't forget to subscribe. Believe it or not, my whole family has dedicated their lives to protecting these pandas. We crash-landed here ages ago. My parents loved me a lot, but sometimes I felt they were so secretive, especially about the locked treasure chest they have hidden away.
Sue, it's time for your math class. We are learning divisions today.
Come on, Sophie, time for school. Mom teaches me every day from home, and I love all my subjects since Mom makes it so much fun to learn.
Should we count berries or cocoa beans for our math lesson today?
Cocoa beans. Going to school with a panda meant I had to count fast. Sometimes the lessons were over before they started. The bell was our alarm system. Whenever there were hunters in the village, Dad rang the bell. Mom ran out, and I followed behind her.
Shaw, take Sue inside.
But I want to come too.
You know how this goes, Sue. Your dad and I will be back as always.
My parents protected all pandas in the forest, and I wanted to do the same. So this time, I decided to follow them. The forest did a great job of protection with natural defenses, but it wasn't enough. As I hid behind the bushes, I accidentally stepped on a stick. I tried to duck away from Mom's stick, but eventually she got me, and I squealed. Mom, it's me!
Sue, I told you to stay in the house.
But I wanted to see how you catch the hunters.
Sue, you could have gotten hurt. You need to listen to us. This can get very dangerous, and our pandas need our help.
Then teach me. What if you get sick or something? Who's going to help the pandas then?
Sue, it's just too dangerous.
Sophie's family? Are you saying I shouldn't take care of my family? You take care of me. What if you need me someday? But I'm not ready. I was not one to give up. So, eventually, my parents decided to give me a chance and started training me. Arrgh! Why can't I get this right?
Patience, Sue.
I kept failing at getting it right, but with my parents' support, I became a pro at setting up traps after a few months.
Go.
I memorized each movement in my mind, and I had practiced so much, my body knew what to do. After a couple of months, the hunters didn't stand a chance. I cut the rope, the net fell, and bang, I caught him.
Wow, you even beat us.
Well done, Sue.
I felt so good about myself. Finally, my parents believed in me, and we were a team. After that day, my parents finally showed me what's in the chest, and I was amazed when they showed me a treasure map.
Sue, now that you are old enough, I think it's time we told you how we ended up living here.
Before you were born, your mom and I owned an antique shop. One day, we found this map, stuffed into an ancient vase. Some very bad people knew we had it, and they've been looking for it and us for years.
Cool. When are we going on a treasure hunt?
We've been waiting for you to grow up and be strong enough for the hike.
We think you're ready.
I sat gazing at this map, daydreaming about the moment we would finally find the treasure. I should have known that wherever there's treasure, there's also trouble. That night, I was startled awake by the warning bell. My parents were standing at the balcony, looking worried, and then I went to see what it was. All the pandas were gathered around our treehouse, which meant that they were scared.
We really need you to stay here this time. Understand?
But you showed me how to get hunters. I want to help.
This is something else. I've never seen them act this way. You must stay inside. Keep Sophie safe.
Mom paused for a moment and looked at me with tears in her eyes and blew me a kiss before she left.
I love you, Sue.
The next day, Sophie and I waited and waited for my parents, but they never came back. Yeah, me too. Days went by, and it was just me and Sophie. I was angry and worried at the same time. Why didn't they come back? All the food we had was gone. Sophie started sniffing for food and suddenly ran out of the house. Sophie, what is it, girl? Do you smell something? Mom? Dad? This is Mom's jacket. Where are you guys? Sophie and I suddenly heard voices. Come on, Sophie, we have to hide. There were more hunters. I was wondering how I could trap them and if they had seen my parents, when suddenly I spotted this gorgeous boy with features like Hercules. The boy kept taking pictures of trees and bushes, and then he got closer to where Sophie and I were hiding, so I pricked him on his leg with a thorn.
Ow!
Benjamin, what is it?
Yeah, it was just a thorn. I'm gonna take some more pictures at the riverside. I'll meet you at the camp.
I saw the boy moving away from the group and decided to follow him. And just maybe, he might know where Mom and Dad were. I climbed up a tree and watched him flash his camera until he flashed at me, startled, slipped, and came tumbling down right on top of him. Ah! Up close, he looked so fine, but then I remembered my parents. What do you people want from my forest?
Your forest? Ow, what's your problem?
Go back to your own territory.
Hey, relax. We're just here on a tour.
Just as the boy took one step towards me, my panda crew appeared, and his face turned pale. Not so brave now, are we?
Aren't you scared?
Nope, but you and all your people should be, unless you want to be our supper. Good one. It wasn't until we chased him off that I remembered I should have asked him about my parents. Not so good after all. After all that drama, my throat felt dry. So I went to the waterfall to grab some water, only to find a girl picking the wrong type of berries. And just as she was about to place one in her mouth, I leaped like a leopard and tumbled onto her, saving her from being poisoned.
Ah! Get off me! What is wrong with you, you stupid girl? Now my dress is all muddied up.
A little thank you would be nice.
Ladies, what's going on here?
This cow jumped on me for nothing. Look at my dress.
This cow just saved your life, you ungrateful monkey. Those berries were poisonous.
Whatever, I'm telling Dad.
I was surprised by her behavior. The bratty girl just walked off without even apologizing. But the handsome boy stayed behind.
Look, we come in peace, and we won't do anything to harm your forest, I promise.
Wait, she won't hurt you, as long as you do come in peace. I tried to squeeze my stomach to make it stop grumbling, but I was super hungry, since all the food in the house had run out.
You can join us for supper if you like. There's plenty to eat. Please?
Since the boy was literally begging me to eat their food, I decided to go with him. Plus, Sophie wouldn't take no for an answer.
So what's your name, and what are you doing out here all by yourself?
Oh, I'm never really alone. My parents taught me never to give my real name away, so I quickly thought of this famous singer Dad always bragged about. Michael Jackson. My name is Michael Jackson.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
I wanted to ask him right away about my parents, but something just didn't feel right. Timing was way too coincidental with them showing up, so I thought I'd check out the camp first, before asking. While I dined with Benjamin's people, I felt a little awkward as I kept looking for signs of my parents. Then, his father started questioning me.
You seem a little nervous, Michael Jackson. So, where are you from?
From the South?
Are you sure? And your parents? They work around here?
Yes, all around here, mostly. I tried to keep my answers very short, and then I saw Dad's ring on the man's finger. My head started spinning, so I quickly excused myself. Sorry. Excuse me while I go to the loo. When I was away from the table, I started panicking, but I had to be brave for my parents. And then I saw some movement inside of one of the tents. I bravely approached the tent and looked inside and was shocked to see my parents all tied up. Mom? Dad?
Sue! Oh, thank goodness.
I quickly started untying them, but the ropes were so tight.
Hurry up, Sue, before they come.
But I was too late. Benjamin entered.
What are you doing in here?
Stay away from me! You and your people took my parents.
No! I swear I had nothing to do with this. I am as surprised as…
Steve appeared behind Benjamin, and then his bodyguards gagged and tied him up.
This is turning out to be a nice little anti-family reunion.
What do you want from us?
Just the treasure map. Bring it to me, and I'll let your parents go. Guards, escort Sue out, and get rid of Benjamin.
But he's your son.
My brother's son. So I don't need him anymore, since his trust fund is all drained out. Now let's see about getting that treasure map, shall we?
I gave the map to the greedy old man, thinking he would give me my mom and dad back. I had a lot to learn about bad people. Here's your map. Give me back my parents.
In good time. Now you will take us to the treasure.
But you said after I give you the map, you would let my parents go.
I don't like repeating myself. Take us to the treasure.
We had been walking for many hours following the map. Then we heard Mimi screaming her lungs out, running towards us. Ah! Right behind was the king panda of the forest. He was a huge, angry, and snarling panda thundering up the trail. I instantly knew what we had to do. Run! Eventually, we lost King Panda, and we reached a place where there were 3 mountains in a high valley. We had to consult the map again. I think this is where the treasure is, in the middle cave.
Daddy, you were going on a treasure hunt and you didn't think of taking me? Hey, where's Benjamin?
Don't worry about it. We're rich now. And with all that treasure, I'm going to buy you the biggest mansion ever.
Mimi very quickly forgot about Benjamin and skipped ahead, thinking about the big mansion her father was going to buy her after stealing our treasure. You want me to go first? Make sure there's no…
Out of my way. Come on, Mimi. Let's take a look at our new treasure.
It's mine. I saw it first.
At this point, I was not surprised. I just could not understand how someone could act like that. And if this is what treasure did for people, I knew I didn't want any part of it.
Look what I found.
Look what I found.
Taking advantage of all the interest in the treasure, I started running back to camp to free my parents. I had only just started when I heard blood-curdling screams. I knew it couldn't be good. At first, I thought they were running from a monster, but when I saw their faces, they didn't look scared. They looked angry.
You tricked us. Where is my treasure?
Wow, this looks interesting. How to start your own organic farm.
You stupid girl. Where is my treasure? Or I swear I'll...
Haven't you ever heard that one man's trash is another man's treasure?
Steve was so angry, and he was making it my fault. I felt so overwhelmed until I saw Benjamin walk to us with a group of men dressed in blue.
Next time when you throw your son in the ditch, maybe take his cell phone away when you do it. Officers, arrest this trash.
The bad man and his bratty daughter were taken away, and then Benjamin hugged me, and I felt safe again.
I'm so sorry about all this.
My parents, are they okay?
Yes, they are waiting for you back at camp.
As my parents and I were going through the treasure box with all the treasure, Mom found a letter inside one of the books.
Hey, look at this.
We read the letter together, which was dated a few decades ago.
Dear kindred spirit, congratulations on finding the treasure trove. Knowledge is power. If you want to change the world, read these books. Then keep on reading. Read everything you can. Learn, grow. Your mind is your treasure. These books are one-of-a-kind personal insights from a lifetime of exploration. They will serve you well.
The letter was signed by someone named Einstein, and we all wondered if it could be the Einstein.
You heard the man. Pick one and start reading.
While reading, Benjamin popped by and addressed my parents.
I'd like to know if I can take Sue Michael Jackson on a date in the city. I have a helicopter waiting outside.
Sue Michael Jackson.
A helicopter?
After the police took the bad people away, Benjamin went back to the city. He found out that his father left a will for him, a will his uncle didn't know about. So he became a millionaire overnight.
Just bring her back, safely.
Wait, let me fix her hair first.
Perfect. I held on to Benjamin's arm and went out on my first date in a helicopter. I was super excited. So where are we going?
We are going out for pizza.
Perfect. I love pizza. What is pizza? As Benjamin and I made our way, my parents stood waving along with our panda family. And as I stood there watching my family, I realized I already had the best treasure in the world, family. And nothing could ever take that away.
Aloha! My name is Dawn, and I live in the Amazonian rainforest. Please like and subscribe. Growing up, I lived in the jungle with my amazing nature-loving dad. We didn't really have a house. We lived in makeshift tents near a local tribe that Dad was filming for one of his numerous award-winning documentaries. My mom was a famous talk show host in the United States, and she only visited Dad and I once or twice a year. When I was 13 years old, Dad was attacked by a caiman and passed away. A few weeks later, Mom told me that we'd be moving to the United States. I tearfully said goodbye to my best friend Hero as my mom waited impatiently.
Will I ever see you again?
I'll come back, I promise. We quickly did our secret handshake, then I turned and left. From the moment we got off the plane, I felt like an alien. People pointed and stared at me. Mom, why are they staring?
Because you're dressed like a caveman. Why don't you wear the clothes I buy for you?
They're old designer dresses, Mom. Not exactly jungle-friendly.
Well, we're not in the jungle anymore. You need a makeover.
Cora, is that your daughter?
I was startled by a sudden flash in my face. A man with a camera was blocking our exit from the airport.
Get that camera off of her face.
I need a photo for my blog.
The man walked around my mother and shoved the camera back in my face. I took several steps back, but the man kept advancing, so I pushed my suitcase and tripped him with it.
You owe me a new camera.
Mom took my hand and literally dragged me to the nearest taxi. The next day, a video of the incident was all over social media with headings like, "Cora's jungle daughter attacks reporter like the wild animal she is." As you can imagine, my first day of school wasn't so pleasant. There are so many buildings. How will I know where to go?
You'll get used to it.
That's all the advice my mom gave me before she drove off, leaving me stranded. It didn't take long before the other kids took notice of me.
New girl, what's your name? I'm Heather.
Dawn.
Like the morning?
Yeah, like that, I guess.
What's with your hair and your clothes? You live in the forest or something?
Actually, yeah. She touched my hair and made a face.
Ever heard of shampoo? Oh my god, did you live with animals?
I knew a mean girl when I saw one, and I wasn't about to let Heather make me her victim. So I grabbed her hand and squeezed. She tried to snatch her hand back, but I held on tighter. I stepped right into her face and sniffed her, then widened my eyes. You heard that right. I sniffed her.
Ew, what are you doing?
I'm making you my friend. That's how my fellow animals and I make friends. You're my friend now. I lied. That wasn't actually how we made friends. But I liked freaking her out. I released her hand and she took several steps back.
Stay away from me, you creep. My dad is the principal, and if you touch me again, he'll expel you.
Heather didn't bother me again after that. All she did was roll her eyes every time our paths crossed. I could live with that. As months went by, I started to love my new life. Mom got me a smartphone and a laptop, and I spent hours teaching myself how to use them. It was tough adjusting to this new life, but by the time I was in senior year, I had gotten used to this civilized world. One morning, Heather and her flock walked into class gushing about some boy.
OMG, did you see his eyes? I can't believe he's living in your house. Well, Dad's the principal, so... You're so lucky.
Just then, the principal walked in, followed by a tall and very handsome boy. Something about the boy looked familiar.
Attention, everyone. I'd like you to welcome this year's exchange student, Hero.
I couldn't believe it! Standing there was my childhood friend. Before I could stop myself, I leaped from my seat, ran, and threw my arms around him. I can't believe it's you! Hero remained stiff and didn't hug me back. I released him and stood awkwardly as the whole class watched. Don't you remember me?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Dawn.
He looked past me and locked eyes with Heather.
Excuse me.
I slumped in my chair, wishing I could make myself disappear. What just happened? Later that day, when I approached Hero, Heather stood up and blocked my path.
Stay away from my boyfriend, weirdo.
Boyfriend?
Did I stutter?
I waited for Hero to deny it, but he remained quiet, so I walked away. One evening, I was out walking our dog when he suddenly got excited and started to bark at a tree. You're so silly, Rufus. It's just a tree. But Rufus barked even louder, so I decided to check out what had him so excited. Hey, look, it's a chameleon! I pulled Rufus's leash, ready to keep walking, but then I remembered something. When we were kids, Hero loved chameleons. I knew what I had to do. I picked up a stick and nudged the chameleon until it coiled itself around the stick. Bingo! I was so excited to go to school the next day. I carried the chameleon in a cardboard box, walked straight up to Hero, and placed it on his desk.
What's this?
It's a gift. I waited eagerly as Hero opened the box. As soon as he saw the chameleon, his face broke into the cutest smile I've ever seen. He picked up the chameleon and started to pet it. It was a perfect moment. Until...
Oh! Get it away from me!
Ugh! Heather was such a drama queen. I tried to calm her down, but she lost balance and fell, taking me down with her. I ended up in detention because Heather told everyone that I attacked her. That evening, I sat in my room reliving the moment Hero saw the chameleon. The smile on his face made me melt.
Dawn, you have a visitor.
That was strange. I never had visitors. I went to check who it was, and my heart started racing when I saw that it was Hero.
Hi, Dawn. I'm here to return this.
Hero held out the cardboard box with the chameleon in it, and my heart sank. I thought you liked it.
I do, but it's freaking Heather out, so I can't keep it.
It's okay. I can keep it for you, and maybe you can see it when you visit.
I can't. Heather will not like that.
Why are you so afraid of Heather? A loud honk sound came from outside.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
Hero bolted out the door, and when I ran after him, I saw him get into Heather's car. Back inside, Mom took one look at the chameleon and demanded I get rid of it. But I got it for Hero. I have to keep it in case he changes his mind.
Forget about the boy. You won't be around much longer anyway.
What do you mean?
We're leaving at the end of the week.
What do you mean we're leaving?
We are going back to the jungle.
What?
My charity organization is doing an important project for the community. Come on. I thought you'd be happy we're going back there.
Before, I'd have jumped on the chance of going back, but that changed when Hero showed up at our school. Can't you work on it from here? Mom ran a charity organization, but she had employees who did everything for her.
Not this time. We're leaving and that's final.
I tried to say goodbye to Hero, but as usual, Heather never let me anywhere near him. Leaving for the village and knowing that Hero wouldn't be there made me super sad. But on the other hand, I was excited to see everyone else. I felt both nostalgic and sad when we arrived. Everything reminded me of Dad, and I felt tears well up in my eyes. Mom surprised me by taking my hand and squeezing it.
You're gonna love it again here. This time even more. I have a surprise for you. Wait till you see.
See what?
That.
I don't understand. How?
It's our house. Isn't it perfect? We even have internet.
It was perfect, sure, but I couldn't help but notice how it stood out like a sore thumb, while the rest of the village looked the same as it did when we left. Weeks went by, and I still hadn't gotten a chance to see and talk to my old friends. Mom was eyeing me like a hawk and forbid me from leaving the house. One afternoon, however, I decided to stage a prison break, so I climbed through the bedroom window and jumped. I landed on some bushes and only got a small scratch on my arm. I ran all the way to the footbridge that led to the local school, only to find that the footbridge was gone. Instead, a bunch of canoes were docked by the riverbank. When I was a kid, I watched Dad use a canoe all the time, and it looked so easy. I could do it too, right? Determined, I pushed one canoe into the river and climbed into it. Big mistake. I barely had control of the paddles as strong waves rocked the canoe back and forth. It was not long before the canoe tipped over, throwing me into the cold, brown water. Help! Somebody! I screamed and splashed around, but I ended up swallowing gulps of disgusting water.
Dawn? Hold on, I'm coming to get you.
Was that Hero? I had to be hallucinating.
Dawn!
His voice sounded far away, but seconds later, strong arms grabbed me and dragged me out of the river. I collapsed on the ground and puked brown water.
What were you thinking? You could have drowned.
Why are you back?
My mom is unwell, and after you left, I was miserable.
I don't understand. You barely spoke to me.
Dawn, I'm so sorry. Heather, she threatened to have her dad kick me out of school if I didn't do what she wanted.
So she forced you to be her boyfriend?
Yeah, she did it to make you jealous. She even asked me to kiss her, but I said no.
Why did you say no?
Because there's only one girl I want to kiss.
I hated that girl already. Oh, okay. She's a lucky girl. I have to go. I was about to leave, but Hero turned me toward him and kissed me! Suddenly, my clothes weren't so cold anymore. The kiss probably lasted seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. We held hands all the way home, but our happiness was short-lived. Mom took one look at our drenched clothes and exploded.
Where have you been?
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's all my fault.
Hero was clearly lying so I wouldn't get into trouble. No, it's not. I'm the one who...
Don't cover for him. This boy is nothing but trouble.
But he saved me!
Enough! Go to your room, now. And you, leave.
I didn't see Hero for several weeks. Then one morning, he burst into my room. Hey, what's...
Dawn, where's your mom?
She's not home. What's going on?
Someone demolished the village school during the night. I think your mom had something to do with it.
What? What makes you think that?
Last evening, I saw her sitting inside a really nice car talking to a man I've never seen before.
Okay, that's weird, but what does it have to do with the school being destroyed?
I just saw the same man driving a bulldozer on the school grounds.
What? We need to go there, now! Hero and I paddled across the river and found angry villagers gathered.
There he is!
Hero pointed at a pot-bellied and balding man in a dark suit and sunglasses. At first, the man seemed unbothered by the chaos, but then he turned his red face to us.
Listen here, you fools. My name is Mr. Baldwin, and what I'm doing here is for your own good. I'm building a 5-star hotel that will attract tourists to your pathetic village. Do you know what that means? Jobs. Money.
We booed him and continued to protest, but by nightfall, we were all so exhausted, so we went home. The moment I got home, I marched straight to my mom's bedroom, but it was locked. Mom! Mom ignored me and avoided me for days. Clearly, she knew something. By the end of the week, I was so frustrated that I decided to take matters into my own hands. With the help of Hero and my camera, we took photos and videos of the construction. I interviewed Hero, his mom, and some of the villagers about how the school was demolished and the sorry state it was in before. Then we posted everything on social media using my laptop. It was a lot of work, but it meant that Hero and I spent lots of time together, so I wasn't complaining. As weeks went by, my post started to get attention from people all over the world. Some were lawyers offering their legal assistance, and others were powerful politicians. Soon enough, Mom found out what I was doing, and she was not happy about it.
Dawn, you need to stop these online campaigns and stop interfering with this project, or I will confiscate your camera and laptop.
What happened to you, Mom? I thought you ran a charity organization that fights for people like Hero and his community. Mom looked really sad, but she didn't answer me. That night, I was woken up by angry shouts. It sounded like it was coming from the living room.
Your daughter is treading on dangerous grounds. You need to make her stop or you will lose everything, including this house.
I spoke to her, but she's a stubborn girl. Also, her campaign is gaining huge support. I'm starting to think that letting you destroy the school was a bad idea.
You should do the job I'm paying you to do. Remember, this house and the money I paid you could be taken away as easily as it was given to you.
As soon as he left, I walked in to find a distraught Mom looking pale and shaken. I heard everything, Mom. I thought you cared about this village. Dad would be so disappointed in you. She broke down, and I held her for a long while before she calmed down and finally spoke.
Mr. Baldwin is a very rich man. His company built his house for me as a bribe to let him grab the school's land.
But that's illegal!
Don't you think I know that? I wish I could stop him.
You can. All you have to do is tell the truth. I ran to my bedroom and brought my laptop. I sat next to Mom and started a live stream. Talk, Mom. The world is watching. Mom confessed to everything that she and Mr. Baldwin did. The stream was flooded with angry comments, but some applauded her courage. TV stations flew in reporters to cover the story, and Mr. Baldwin and Mom were arrested. Of course, we lost the mansion, but as Mom served her jail time, I went to live with Hero and his mom. We oversaw the construction of a new school funded by my online campaigns. A few months later, Mom was released and she came back.
I'm so sorry for everything, honey. I will do everything I can to improve this community for real this time.
How about you start by helping us carry sand from the river? We're building a footbridge.
But I just had my nails done and…
Mom!
Okay, let's go.
The end.